Welcome to The Global Girlfriend.
Shall we book a trip to Bilbao, Spain?
Yep.
Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome to the Global Girlfriend. My name's Morgan,
And my name's Brianna.
and we're a podcast that's all about travels, all the ins and outs and stories that go into that. And today we have a fabulous topic that we are quite passionate about, and it is called Bites Around the World, our tastiest travel memories. We love food.
We
So
love
today,
food.
we love it, and it's such a pillar part of every trip that we do. And so today, you might forget the specifics of, hostel names and random little details of your trips, but for whatever reason, those phenomenal dishes or different foods that you have, forever a spot in your memory. So we're going to talk all about that today. So as per usual, let's start with a little story. Brianna, do you have a little memory of one of your tastiest dishes from your travels?
I absolutely do. So, this is both a beautiful and heartbreaking story. One of my favorite restaurants in the entire world was in Tirana, Albania. It was called Gastro Organic, and it was this
Yes.
cute little Italian restaurant, like 50 meters away from my house. It had, I don't know, maybe 5 tables in it, and it had basically a waiter or a waitress that worked there and one lady in the kitchen, and she would make like the most delicious fresh pastas. And my sort of
Mm,
favorite thing to do, like literally once a week, I would go to this like tiny little restaurant and I would order the exact same thing. It was called, pardon my pronunciation, it was like a casserecce speciale or something like that. And it was like these just
yes.
beautiful fresh pasta noodles with baby tomatoes and like a cream rose sauce. And we would get it with like a
Ah,
half a liter of wine to split with whoever I was with. And it was
yes.
just the absolute best, most fresh pasta. And I loved it so,
Ah,
so much. Unfortunately, that restaurant has closed, and I genuinely shed a tear when I found out it
oh,
was closing. Like, my heart still hurts when I think about it because truly that was, you and I have been there together, like the best pasta
yes.
that
So
I've ever
good.
had.
Oh
Uh,
my goodness. Truly
right?
so good. And like, yeah, Brandon actually just told me recently that it closed down and we had like a whole like messaging series of the devastation around it. Um,
Ah,
do we have any information on why they closed?
no, I have no idea why they closed. And anyway,
Dang.
so sad. But the memories are good, and I did eat probably about 50 of those pastas over my time, so I'm grateful.
Oh yeah.
But
It is, yeah,
um,
forever ingrained in you.
forever in our hearts. But what about you? Do you have a memorable meal?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, there's so many, but one that's coming to mind. So, one of my favorite things from living in Spain was a is a soup called salmorejo, and it's a cold Spanish soup. Not gazpacho, but salmorejo has my heart. So, the traditional salmorejo is, like I said, a cold Spanish soup, and it has hard boiled egg. Garnish and little pieces of ham. And
Ooh.
I love it. And then one time I was in the Costa Brava area of Spain, and I was at this kind of like low key, swanky little restaurant having some wine, and I was craving salmorejo. And I looked at the menu, but it was like, I don't know, 15 or 17 euros for a bowl of soup. And I was like, you're joking. But it was like a special one. Like it had like shavings of parmesan, little like caviar, and I think it had a little bit of truffle on it. And I was like, oh, I don't know, that to spend that much on a bowl of soup is like against everything I stand for. But I was like,
Yeah.
but I was like, but I think I have to try it. And so I did, and it was the best thing I have ever had. And I've been meaning to try to recreate it, but I haven't. But I think about that that bowl of soup all the time.
Oh my god, that sounds elite.
It was, yes, it is elite. Well, so obviously food. you know, is a memory that we hold on to and is super special. Why do you think like food is something that is such a memory in our like hearts that is like almost like a souvenir that we take with us?
I That is such a good question, and I think, I mean, there's so many reasons. I feel like food is one of those things that, like, it's almost like a point of cultural pride for anyone. It's such an easy topic of conversation also, like, whenever you're traveling and you meet a local from that country, like, I find one of the favorite questions people like to ask is like, "Oh, have you tried the food here?" And people are
Oh
usually
yeah.
so open to and excited and wanna give you recommendations for food that you should try. I mean, eating is such a universal thing that obviously we all do, but I think it's so beautiful how every culture and country has something like unique that makes it their own, and just sort of like the joy that people have in sharing like this is our food. I feel like it's the almost like the excitement of like the local people, or the excitement of getting to know a place through their cuisine, that just makes it like super memorable.
Oh, that is such a great way to put it because it is just so exciting. Like, when you want to know a place so well and you get to know it through food, and equally like when people come and visit me wherever I live, like you want to show them all like the local food spots and like get people excited about it. So yeah.
Totally. And I feel like in your regular life, you sort of go through, I don't know what I'm not like very diverse in my cooking, but I feel like in my regular life I have like 5 dishes that I make kind of like Monday through Friday. Or I have, my favorite foods that have been my favorite foods since childhood. So I love when I go on a trip and I get to just switch that up completely. That's
Oh
like so
yeah.
exciting. And it's almost like, you get excited to go to the museum, or you get excited to go to the beach. I'm like, I am also so excited about lunch because that's going to be new and different too.
Yes. No, absolutely, absolutely. Would you say that you're a like adventurous eater when you're out traveling, or how would you describe yourself?
So now I am an adventurous eater. I would say that I love getting to know local cuisines and I will try anything. If you knew me before the age of probably 21, you would never describe me that way. Like my whole life, my favorite food was toast. I feel so bad for my parents. I like basically I didn't eat anything like for 18 years. I was like carbs and only carbs, like white carbs. It was really bad. But then it was actually travel that sort of like opened my mind to eating new foods. And now I will try anything. I will try anything once. So yeah, now I'm adventurous. Would you say you're adventurous?
Okay, am I an adventurous eater when I'm traveling? I definitely want to try stuff of the local cuisine, 100%. I think that's a part of traveling. I would say that I'm a mix of adventurous and modest with my eating because I know things that I like and I know things that I absolutely wouldn't. And so maybe I definitely will try a bite if someone orders something, but I might not order an entire meal of something. It's like super rogue. Um, but definitely so. Like growing up in Texas, which is very like cow heavy, but not very like seafood heavy. Even though there's the coast in the south, but like I never really liked seafood growing up.
Mhm.
But then when I moved to Spain and then I moved to Albania, you have water on so many parts of the country, and so then I really branched out and started loving like all sorts of seafood, from mussels to octopus to who knows what. So I'm a mix. I keep it a little bit modest, but I will try most things.
Nice. I love that. And then I also think like something that I just love about eating and traveling, it's that it's not only like restaurants that you feel sort of like you get to have these like local experiences with. I find that like especially even living abroad, like figuring out local grocery stores, one of my favorite things to do when I move to a new place or when I visit a new place is going to the grocery store or going to the
Me too.
market, because I just love to see, what's prioritized. For example, here in Indonesia, I was shocked the first time I went to a grocery store. Like, there's literally an entire aisle dedicated to hot sauce. Like, beginning of the aisle to the end, 6 shelves high, just straight hot sauce. Which I was like,
Oh
okay,
wait,
guess
that's
they like
awesome.
the spice here. And like I love a local market because you sort of get to see what, maybe smaller mom and pop type vendors are making, the breads, the fish,
Hmm.
the fruits, the veg. Like it just really gives you a sort of better look at what's going on in those countries.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that I'm like right there with you. I feel like I love going to a supermarket wherever I'm at. And like it is pretty cool just to see that, yeah, what they prioritize, the the life around it. I mean, I've even been to a supermarket trying to get something, and an old lady came up to me and pinched my cheek. And so I'm like
Aw.
I'm like, okay. But I do think it really connects you with the local people. Like you're just doing an everyday life thing around this huge thing of live food. And it connects you with the people that are there, that are working, that are shopping, and it's just such a big part of life.
Yeah, 100%. Have you learned to cook any like of the local dishes from the places where you've lived or traveled?
Ooh, yeah. So I feel like when I was living in Albania, I felt like, well, okay, I felt like there wasn't, especially living in Duras, there wasn't a whole lot of options for food. Like, obviously, there was Albanian food and pasta and seafood and pizza, but I was struggling to find, like, stuff I missed from Spain, or, Mexican food, and
Yeah.
like really good guacamole and like stuff like stuff like that. So I feel like my
Yeah.
time living in Albania, I was like starting to make a lot of things that I miss from home, like guacamole, like fried chicken.
Mhm.
That sounds like, but like stuff like that. And
Yeah.
then as well as stuff from Spain, like I'm a big soup person, so I'd make salmorejo all the time, and then tortilla, which is like the Spanish omelet.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, and then now living here in Texas, I also try to bring that different from different parts of the world, and I think it's really fun.
Oh, I love
Okay,
that.
you mentioned that you kind of do that. Your like classic five things. Are they from like what kind of cuisines are they?
That is a great question. So, actually, when I was living in Kenya, that was kind of like my first attempt at like actually cooking. And I lived with a woman who had Indian Tanzanian roots, and she taught me how to make curry. And
Oh,
I latched on hard. Like, I make curry the same way that she taught me, like at least 1 to 2 times a week.
oh,
So that was
amazing.
really good. And then I don't make this all the time, but I genuinely like love to make it. I feel like living in Albania and that like Balkan Greek influence as well. Um, a lot of times when I'm going to a party and people are like, "Oh, bring an appetizer or bring something to share," I learned how to make an absolutely straight fire tzatziki. Um,
Yeah. Oh, I'm
and
actually making that tonight. I gotta get your recipe though.
I'll give it to you. No, honestly, like, and I just feel like it's such a hit. I feel like it is such a hit to bring. I mean, I like a Greek person taught me how to make it, so like that was great. But I just feel like it's a really nice thing to bring to people, and I don't think that I would
Yes.
be that passionate about it had I not lived in that region.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, I'm like so hungry right now. So this episode might be a bit of a tragedy. um, one of the things that I've been meaning to learn, and I'm so sad I didn't learn while I was in Albania, was learning how to make burek. I'm like,
Oh my god,
I
yeah.
I, I need those savory pastries in my life every
With
day.
all the different options, the cheese, the tomatoes,
Ah,
the spinach.
oh,
Yeah, I
so
miss
good.
it.
Me too. Me too.
Has eating abroad ever gone the wrong way for you? And by that I mean, like, have you ever ordered something that you were like, "Oh, wasn't expecting this," or like something shows up and you're like, "Oh God, I have to eat all of this."
Okay, okay. I was like pondering this specific question earlier, and a story did come to mind, and it's ridiculous. Okay, so I was with a friend in Valencia on the east coast of Spain, and we
Yeah.
went to this like restaurant, and there was pizza, and so we were ordering pizza, and so
Hmm.
there was a pizza with chicken, and
Hmm.
so I went to order, and I was like, I meant to say like I want the pizza with chicken. And so I'll say what I ordered in Spanish first. And if you're a Spanish speaker, you're gonna like LOL immediately, and then I'll explain it. But I was like, "Hola," I was like, "Quiero una pizza con polla." And so what that means, um, just for the record, pollo is chicken.
Yeah.
Polla, excuse my language, is dick. Sorry to say that on here. And I literally said, I want a pizza with dick. Sorry for my language. And then there was this little family next to me with like little kids, and they're, Spanish, and they
Yeah.
were giggling because it was like hilarious and so embarrassing. And I was like, no, 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 pollo, chicken, please. So I'll never forget that story.
Oh.
Ugh.
Oh my
Okay.
god, that's hilarious. That is so good. I had not nearly the same, but my also mishap happened when I was in Spain. So I have only been to
Classic.
Spain one time for a very, very short time. I was in Madrid. Um, and so I've had zero exposure to the Spanish language through my travels. Um, but I somehow had the confidence to be like, well, surely I can read a menu. I know queso. Uh, um, and so I'm sitting at this table with my friend who is a vegetarian, and we're reading the menu and whatever. We decide we want to try this tostada, and I read I and I thought I was getting this like beautiful like toast thing with like cheese and I don't know, maybe a few other toppings. First of all, like I thought it was kind of just like I don't know, a regular white cheese, and I also assumed it was like a vegetarian thing. And my friend that I was with, she speaks a little bit of Spanish, and so she even asked the server. She was like, "This has no meat, right?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, no meat. Don't worry." This massive tostada shows up covered in blue cheese, which is like, I
No.
hate blue cheese. I can't do it. Covered in blue cheese with little anchovies on the top, which is also like a hard pass for me.
No.
I hate an anchovy. And then also like my friend who's a vegetarian, like she's very strict. She doesn't eat fish at all. And she was like, "Oh, I forgot that this happens here. They don't classify fish as meat." So they like thought it was fine. Like I guess I don't know. Some people are like, "Oh yeah, fish isn't meat. Fish is fish, and meat is meat." And so anyway, so then she couldn't
Oh
eat
my
any
gosh.
of it. She couldn't eat any of it because she was a vegetarian. And so then I was stuck with this tostada, and I was like, I didn't want to be rude. I couldn't finish it, but I did my
Oh,
best. But it was just so funny because I had in my mind I was gonna have this like beautiful um, tapas experience, and it was literally
oh,
all of my nightmare foods all all at once.
literally a nightmare. Oh my gosh. Okay, that is like so classic, isn't it? And that is like so tragic when you see it come out and you're like, no.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, so good. All right. So you and I are sort of experts now in traveling around and having great meals. How do you sort of plan where you're going to eat or what you're going to eat when you go on a trip?
Yeah. So I feel like before I go somewhere, like probably right before, because I sometimes can't get into the zone till right before. And I'll just like look and I'll start reading things, and I'll start talking to people who've been or have lived there, and start asking, okay, like, do you have favorite places? Do you have favorite foods? And then kind of once I'm there, I start using kind of like, what am I seeing on the menu? Like, when I talk to a local, what are they saying? Like, you have to try this. So I kind of I'm a information gatherer a little bit before, um,
Hmm.
see what people are saying. And then when I'm there, like, what do I see? Or I'll look around at restaurants, kind of, what do the people have? And
Yep.
that's usually typically how I kind of decide like what to eat, or like where to go. I usually have a little bit of an idea before I go, but what about you?
Nice. I do the same thing, and I would say probably my like best tip for like finding really good food when you travel abroad is like in your exploration, try and find a place that like makes one thing, almost only one thing. Like they don't have a lot of
That's it.
variety in the
That's a good
menu.
point.
Find a place that makes one thing and find a place that has been there for like 30 years. Because if you find a place that makes one thing and it's been there for 30 years, like you know that
Oh
it's going to
yeah.
be it's going to be amazing. And like I'm thinking about like in Albania there's this burek place that's like halfway between Tirana and the beach, and like that's all they make. Like you can get only burek, and they have like three different types, but so many Albanians, like, they make it a part of their
Oh,
pilgrimage to the beach
yes.
every year, is like they're like,
Yeah.
we have to stop at this exact place for a burek. Or like here in Bali, I have to take you there because I know how much you love soup. There's this little place on the beach, and like
Yes.
they do a fish soup, and that is what you get when you go there.
Love a fish soup.
One thing, and
Love a
it's
fish
like
soup.
and so I feel like that is, if you come across a place that looks like that while you're traveling, like give it a go, because you 9 out of 10 times it's going to be phenomenal.
Oh, I think that's a really good point. Like I like there is a place in Duras that literally was like Mexican food and pizza. And I'm like, no, I don't trust you. You can't do Mexican food well and pizza.
No,
um,
hard
but
pass.
hard pass. I also think like in addition to that, like what, yeah, like do one thing really well, but then also like look for places that are for sure like local cuisine, because I think like it's really worth trying somewhere that's really specific to the place wherever you're at.
Totally. And I mean, like, you'll see all the time, which, like, I, to be honest, don't like fully believe in. People are like, oh, if there's English on the menu, don't eat there. I mean, the world is like pretty international, and like you can get really good, authentic food, even if there is a menu for the tourist. So I would say, be discerning, but that's not necessarily an indicator that the food is not going to be good. But I would say that, like, if you're living in a place, something that I just find so interesting is the first thing I learn in any language where I live is the name of foods. And I just
Oh
like, I
yeah.
don't think that's a coincidence, but like my Albanian, not very good. Do I know the name of every meat and every fruit and every vegetable in Albanian? 100%. And like, it's the same with Indonesians. Like, I can say baked and fried and boiled. Like,
Yeah.
and I just think that, like, I just feel like food is such an important part that, like, if you can learn to read a menu in the local language, then, like, one, you probably won't end up with blue cheese and fish on your toast. But I just feel like if you like learn if you learn the local words for different foods, then your food experience can be taken to the next level.
Oh, I agree 100%. And like with that, I think that learning the like local words for or language for food really means a lot to the people there. And I think it just like really bonds you with people more and makes you connect a little bit more. And I just felt like people were so excited when, I like knew how to say stuff, on the menu. And it really went a long way to, connect with people through learning the language of their food.
Totally. Let's talk a little bit. Let's share maybe some of our favorite dishes from some of the places where we have lived. Um, let's start with Albania because we both live there. What is your
Yes.
must try food or foods from Albania?
Oh, oh my goodness. There is a lot that I love. I'm just going to say two.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. One that I've already mentioned on this podcast, which is burek, which is a savory pastry, as you know, but for the listeners,
Yeah.
a savory pastry that's all over the Balkans, and every Balkan country will claim that their burek is the best. I've tried it in Greece, I've tried it in Croatia, Montenegro, and for me, my favorite is the Albanian burek, like 100%. And they
Yep.
do it with this cheese that they call cheese. I don't even know. It's like squishy cheese. I don't know how you call it. That my favorite was that burek mid cheese or burek with tomato and onion. Love it.
So good. So
Love
good.
it. And then the second one is just there's also a lot of Italian influence, and
Yeah.
a seafood pasta with mussels is and little shrimps even maybe loved,
Yep.
loved. What
So good.
what about
Mine,
you?
honestly, yes, both of those. I love when it's kind of like cold and rainy and like your bones are cold. I love going into a Zagara, which is like a restaurant that serves all traditional food. And I love
Hmm.
to order like a fasule, which is beans. And it's these
Yes.
like really sort of big white beans in like a kind of like salty tomatoey sauce. And Albania does bread
Yes.
so well. And just like taking one of those big circular fresh like oven grilled breads and dipping it in the sauce for the fasule. Nothing better on a winter day.
Oh, okay. I had actually forgotten about that. And in general, beans are my favorite food. So like, oh, that is heaven. That is thank you for
Yeah,
reminding me. That's
you
beautiful.
gotta try fasule. What
That's
about
it.
Spain? If someone's going to
Okay.
Spain, what do they have to try?
Oh, yes, yes. Okay, España. Um, I'm gonna say, I mean, this is like pretty like simple, but I would say try a tortilla, um,
Hmm.
the Spanish omelet, tortilla de patatas, and it's usually for a tapa. I associate eggs though with breakfast, so I a lot of times had it before work when I lived there, but otherwise there's like little restaurants where you can have tapas that are tortilla, and so I
Hmm.
would say you got to try it. And I mean, there's like local little bars that make killer tortilla, but kind of a trendy one that has a couple locations in Madrid is called Pez tortilla, and they do traditional tortilla, but also like kind of funky ones, and it is wildly good. So I would say if you're in Madrid, go to Pez tortilla and try a classic one, and also try a kind of funky one.
Ooh, I
um,
love that. That sounds so good.
yeah. Okay. What about you? What country do you want to do next? What do you have? Bali.
Yeah, let's do Indonesia.
Okay.
So if you're coming to, so the beautiful thing about Indonesia is like how diverse it is. And there's 17,000 islands, and each of the islands has kind of like their own dishes that they do really well. So if you come to Bali, I feel like what people want me to say is that you should try this thing called babi guling, which I have tried. It is not for me. However, you should definitely try it if you come to Bali. It's basically pork, and it's like just a bunch of different uh, parts of the pork, and it's all cooked differently, and it's spicy. There's some chewy parts, some crispy parts. I'm not really a pork kind of person. I've tried it. It was flavorful, but not for me. However, my other recommendations are they do a chicken or a duck called ayam batutu, and it's like this nice, like really nice
Ooh.
mix of different spices, usually served over a yellow rice with like a gravy sauce and some fresh sambal, which is like kind of like a bunch of different spicy things to add some flavor to it. So I would say ayam batutu is what you have to try while you're here. And then my other favorite, sorry, I'm just like going ham here,
No,
is
love it.
for dessert. This is my favorite thing, honestly. It's called dardar gulung. And it's like a thin pandan pancake. And then there's like shredded coconut and brown sugar, and they roll it up into kind of like a spring roll. And it's a
Oh,
dessert. And so those would be
love
my
it.
three Balinese recommendations if you come to Bali.
Okay, that's amazing. Um, do you by chance have like a favorite thing from Canada
Oh, that's such a good question. Yes,
or like a place?
you have. This is like such a stereotypical thing, but you do have to have a poutine when you go to Canada, and like a good one. It's fries with cheese curd and then gravy on the
Oh,
top of it. It's a
that
French
sounds so
Canadian
good.
dish. It's typically best enjoyed at 3 o'clock in the morning after you've been out at the bars, or at noon the next day when you wake up. But
Okay,
honestly, you don't need to be in that circumstance to enjoy it. It is not healthy, but it is so delicious. And I find explaining that to people, they're like, that sounds disgusting. But I promise you, it is so, so good. What's your favorite
that
Texas
sounds
food?
that sounds amazing. Okay, well, I guess I'll just say, I guess like two cuisines. Number
Hmm.
one, you got to try some barbecue. I think it's just so good. And like I love like barbecue sides, like potato salad and mac and cheese, and so I definitely think definitely got to try that. And then also, and what I mainly miss most when I'm away from Texas is Mexican food. I love like
Hmm.
classic Mexican food and like street tacos, but I also love Tex-Mex, which is just like a little bit of a Texas flair on it. And beans are like my favorite food, so beans are a huge part of the cuisine. Um, so definitely got to try that. So yeah.
Oh, that sounds so. Yep. Now this episode has just made me like so hungry.
Me too. And I have to still go to the store, and I'm like, no.
You're gonna eat everything. Um,
But yeah, I feel like when I'm visiting a place, or even sometimes coming from like my home, wherever I'm living,
Mhm.
I think it's really, I think it's really great to bring like little pieces, food and snacks to people, just to like share with a little bit of either your culture or a culture in which you lived in or visited. So like I feel like I'm going to Spain on Saturday, and so I'm already planning in my head, um, okay, have a mostly empty suitcase so I can go to the supermarket and get cheap wine, cheap Spanish wine, because
Yep.
it's divine, put it in my suitcase, and like get like some dried meats and cheeses and like little snacks that I love there, so I could bring them back and share them with people. And I think that's like a really cool way to share a culture and like even share your experience with people. Is that something you
Uh,
do?
Yeah, I totally do that. So usually whenever I come back after an extended break to wherever I'm living, I like to bring people that I'm close with just like little tiny bottles of Canadian maple syrup because I feel like that's a nice gesture.
Oh
So I
yeah.
love to do that. And then also like I am a passionate snacker. And I love to try
Yes.
different snacks from different countries. And so this Christmas, what I did was actually my Christmas gift to all of my family was I went and bought tons of like Indonesian spiced rice packets and shrimp chips and coffee and Indonesian chocolate and just like I just like made these little gift packs of like all of Indonesian flavorful
Oh
snacks.
yeah.
And I just feel like that's a really wonderful way to sort of share where you are with people that can't necessarily come and visit. And it's just, yeah, it's a really, really nice way to feel globally connected wherever you go.
Oh yeah. That's super special, and I bet they just loved it and feel connected to you in that way.
Hope so. So, I guess, sort of as we start to wrap things up, we want to hear from you all who are listening. What are the foods that you love? How do you decide where to eat when you travel? What are some of the most memorable meals you've had? We love talking about food and we want to talk about it with you. So, Morgan, where can people find us on the internet to share all that with us?
Yeah, you guys can find us on social media on Instagram and TikTok at The Global Girlfriend. Or you can head over to our website, which is theglobalgirlfriend.com. And you can shoot us a little inquiry or email there. And like Brianna said, we would love to hear all those things in your stories around food and traveling.
All right. We cannot wait to hear from you. Thank you guys so much for listening. I am going to just be dreaming about food from now until the time we publish this episode. So thank you so much for
Same.
listening. And we'll see you guys next week.
Yep. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.